made some notes because I spent the entirety of yesterday watching Lakeview interviews, right?
That sounds terrible.
Okay.
Brutal.
I made notes. So the first thing I want to like base off is like, we know that you're huge Nickelback fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
right?
of course.
So if you could steal one of Nickelback's songs and make it your own, which one would you
Man,
take?
that's really tough.
I'd probably just go Rockstar. It's the most perfect party song ever. Everybody knows it. It's so sick. I'd go Rockstar for sure.
I mean, I have all, yeah. Prison gates won't open up for me.
Yeah, it's on Rip.
Yeah, you know, I have to go with How You Remind Me, though, just because that was the most played rock song in the whole world on the radio ever in history. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
We wrote a song with Chad.
Yeah.
What song is that?
We didn't put it on this album. This was just recently.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we went out
it
to his
is
house.
coming out potentially?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah?
Potentially, yeah.
I'm assuming there's something you can say about it.
Eventually. We can't really say too much about
Okay.
it, but I'm going to say that because I almost cried that day. It was
Yeah, it was
amazing.
sick.
Yeah, it was the best day of my life.
Yeah.
Has there been any moments so far in your career you have cried?
Yeah, for sure. We sold out our hometown show. What is it, a year and a half ago? Probably 600, 700 people, something like that. That was pretty emotional. Yeah.
So super nostalgic being back home
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of this shit's fucking emotional too. Like even being on the other side of the world and people singing your songs back to you is ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, if I was any more of like a sissy, I'd probably cry all the time, but I don't, I just sweat. And that's it.
Sweat cry.
Just sweat.
Sweat out of your eyes.
Yeah, sweat out of my eyes.
Just dust in your eyes.
Yeah, there's dust in my eyes everywhere I go.
Exactly. So you guys have been from like metal kind of careers. So you were both in separate bands. I want to ask you about the difference in crowds. Do you find that now that you've like gone from metal to country that you have to be different with the crowd, or do you have the same kind of energy?
Very much the same type of energy with our live show. Obviously, it's a different genre or a blend of both. I mean, we look at what we do as country rock, so we try to bring a lot more energy than maybe some other country artists out there. But that just organically comes from like what we've been raised doing and playing shows. I think
that's what people latch onto as well. Whenever we play, they're always like, "That was so crazy and so fun," and oh my gosh! And I think it's just we are introducing those people who just are usually spectators of music into like, hey, jump around, do this, like sing along, get on stage, take the mic, So then we're kind of introducing those people to that culture, and I think that's a big reason why people are enjoying, especially the live show.
I think too, like at least in America, and this is like what not why me and Jesse started this, but how we knew it was gonna connect more so than a lot of industry folks thought it would connect. It was a lot of people are like us, so it's like I love metal and I love rock and I love rap and all that stuff and I love country. So like, why can't I just go to like see Knocked Loose and Lorna Shore and then the next day go watch Jason Aldean? There's nothing wrong with that, and I think a lot of people do that in America, and I think a lot of people do that here too. Though I think it's just you don't see it because they're not wearing their whatever fucking Kublai Khan shirt at the next show. They're wearing whatever. It's like I think a lot of people still go to both, and they like both. Some people on the metal side don't admit that they also like country though.
There's like an embarrassment inside though.
Yeah.
You do two extremes there. Lorna Shore, very heavy, right? And then Jason Aldean, pretty traditional, kind of. They're two very extreme.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when Jason Aldean was super fringe. Like they were like, this is too rock. This ain't country.
Yeah, when he first came out,
it's pretty wild to think about that nowadays, But
can you even define country nowadays? Though, like, it's such a mix, which is great.
I think it's less about less about sonically the genre. It's more about the content and the storytelling. I think that's the definition is just that. It's whether it sounds like Zach Top or it sounds like Lakeview. It's still a country song, depending on what you're singing about and how you're delivering it. That's really the definition, at least to us. And that's
So storytelling for sure. That defines it as country music. I mean, I think like literally that's like anybody would admit that it's the storytelling. It's not because it has pedal steel on it or there's no distortion on guitars. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, it just really has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, and your music does come from your background, like Home Team. I think was probably like the first really big viral one. And I think if it's right, that's based on your construction background and things, right? It's actually like truthful in the way that you're telling it and things.
Yeah, all these songs are. I mean, me and Luke wrote that new album. I mean, we wrote all these songs, with the exception of like 2 or 3 of them, you know, at the end of a long work day, until the wee hours of the night. So, it's
Home Team was
true.
after a 12-hour day.
Yeah, we're like falling asleep.
So.
We're like falling asleep while writing it. So it's all true.
It might be the most stupid question in the world. Is there ever a day where you miss construction?
Of course.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, for sure.
Something nice, starting the day with nothing, and then working with your hands and building something. And at the end of the day, looking back and being like, "Yeah, I fucking built that today. That's sick."
Yeah, stuff that's just like I'll be there forever, you know. And
that's cool. You get that nice sense
songs
of,
do that too, but it's not. It's just a little
like
bit different, and it's like kind of miss the physical part. My body doesn't really miss it, but like mentally, I miss the physical part of that.
Yeah, for sure.
You two are both very physically fit, right? And you tour a lot. So how do you manage that? Because surely it's like on-the-go food. I mean, you're just eating crumpets, right?
Yeah.
So
that was the first time, though. You know, that was the first time.
Yeah, you got to do it.
But there will be a second crumpet.
There will be. Yeah.
Sure.
I will be crumpeting. I'll be crumpeting until the day I die. At this point,
I'll be crumping in the club.
We just try and work out. Try not to eat like shit. Like today, we went to the gym. The guy didn't make us pay for it. That was sick. We do our best. There's certain tours where it's a lot easier. Obviously, in the States, it's a lot easier because we have like an understanding of where the gyms are and we have memberships and things like that. So it's actually not as hard as it might sound. But when you're out here, you're kind of at the mercy of wherever the fuck you're at. So
yeah, a lot of it's intermittent fasting for me. It's like I try to eat just one time in the day. So if it's not, you know, hitting my macros and protein and all that crap, I'm not really concerned about that on the road. I'm just like, okay, at least I'm not over consuming. So even if it's not real bad, it's like, well, I'm still technically probably under a calorie count, even if I don't get to go to the gym or be physical. It is really tough though when you're, you know, these long travel days. I mean, how long did it take for us to even just get here? It's like you're not moving at all.
Like 2 days.
Yeah, like you can't physically move for like 2 days straight, and it's pretty brutal. So it makes it tough.
Yeah.
And you've just done Glasgow, right?
Yeah.
So in the UK, obviously you came to London anyway for C2C, so I know you've already been to the UK. But did you know much about Scotland before you went to Scotland? Was that the first time you've been to Scotland?
Never been to Scotland. Yeah.
I've just seen all the documentary of William Wallace, you know, Braveheart. That was all I know.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
it's a cool spot there.
Cliche Scotland.
Yeah, I like cliche stuff though, you know. Yeah. He's a tough guy. You know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. They do say in the UK that Scottish crowds are the rowdiest crowds. So
Play an Oasis song, you know, we'll be good.
Yeah.
We're gonna turn them up. Yeah.
So you guys were reading your mean tweets, and one of the guys was like, Luke looks like he's the kind of guy that comes to a party and brings a guitar.
Oh yeah.
And you were like, duh.
Yeah.
But the one that absolutely made me laugh out loud, the Walmart Nickelback.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
2 amazing, successful things. Walmart and Nickelback.
Yeah, praise God.
So
You can hate Walmart all you want, but guess what? They kill it.
They got the deal.
They kill it.
They rake, right? They rake in the money there.
Yeah, they sure do. Yeah, they sure do. So maybe we're doing something wrong. That guy was definitely doing something wrong.
So I want to end it with kind of, you guys have a really dry sense of humour, which I absolutely love. Maybe that comes
very
from
British.
the worker, the construction thing. It's very British. When we go to America, a lot of the time, people are like, what are they even on about? But your sense of humour is very British. It's very dry. So on that note, so obviously I went through all the mean tweets that you had read and things. What is the worst thing you've read about yourselves
Oh, there's things that you can't even say. Yeah,
Well, like as far as like the tweets and stuff.
yeah, people just call me fat all the time and tell me to kill myself. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's
It's great.
Do they have anything else to do?
no, not really. You know, and it's always people with the fake accounts and stuff. You go there and they don't have any posts. But
I
at
can
the
lose a
same
couple.
time,
Listen, I can lose a couple lbs. You know what I mean?
we can all do stuff to make ourselves better, but that's not the point. We love the hate.
We do.
Bring the hate.
We do.
Bring it because it feeds the algorithm. That's a huge part of
yeah.
of getting your music out. So it's like, yeah, you got all this viral shit going on, and it's you read through the comments, and we'll say even 95% of that is bad comments. If 1% of that loves your music and downloads your stuff, like you just made a massive impact.
Yeah.
So you kind of need the hate community.
We knew that we
and
were like making waves, or at least making progress, because we went through 2 years of like never getting a bad comment. It was just we love. Oh my gosh, it's so great. And then one day, just overnight, it was like these videos just started popping off, and like all this. But everything feeds everything, so it's just kind of like the internet's not even real.
We do stuff a little bit on purpose sometimes to trigger the haters and
bring them out of hiding.
Yeah, bring them back out. Yeah, come out and play. Come on, we love it. Yeah. Like we embrace it, and they don't realize actually how much they help artists out
and how little we give a shit.
Yeah, we actually don't give a fuck at all.
Yeah.
We can tell, and it's good.
Yeah.
Great. I love it. So it obviously is working because you guys have 500,000 Spotify listeners monthly now, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I think so.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah,
that's pretty wild. Never thought
Pretty wild.
that.
And you're backstage eating crumpets off an iron.
Yeah,
sick.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Which were fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you, Pip.
Love you, boys.
Love you too, buddy.